Tonight on 8.5-bit, Game of the Year 2021.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, I never know our theme song. I always
It's always someone else's.
I think of the McDonald's theme song way more than I ever think of McDonald's.
It's everyone's theme song.
It's basically the Jurassic Park theme song.
Kind of is.
Anyway, welcome, friends of all design, to a very special 8.5-bit. That's right, it's time for Game of the Year again. Joining me tonight are my good friends James.
Hello.
And Sam.
Howdy ho.
And tonight we shall be discussing the games of 2021. But because everyone does a Game of the Year, we thought of a way of making it different, which is us competing to see if we can guess each other's Game of the Year.
Pretty much every year Paul wins.
Yes.
I don't know if that's
Paul
true.
is good at games.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is true. I do think I did win last year.
I think pretty sure you won last year.
But also tonight there are 3 bonus points up for grabs.
Yeah.
So you can, instead of taking a... Well, we'll just go through the rules. The rules are simple. The rules are this. So we each take turns. You guess a game on someone else's list and the number it is at. You can get a maximum of 3 points. Because say if I said, Sam, I think your number 3 is Doom Eternal. So if it was your number 3, I get a point for the game, a point for the position. And if James also has Doom Eternal on his list, I get a point for that as well. Because we all reveal if we don't want to say the same game.
It's not going to take forever.
Yeah. So you can get 3 for a guess. You do not get points if it's on your own list, however.
Which is a shame because that would mean I win all the time.
And there's also 3 bonus points. So I have 3 things of the year, be it a company or a service or that sort of thing, or an object. I do have an object on James's list, but that's not part of my list, so it doesn't matter. And you can say, I'll guess one of those, and if you get that, you get an extra bonus point. We can chat about that. Knowing my attitudes, I think at least 2 of them will be very obvious, but we'll find out.
I believe one of them might be, if I understand this correctly.
Yeah, probably. And the rules can change at any time if it is funny. Because this isn't, whilst it's a formal, it's not that formal. We don't care.
Who gives a shit?
Lists are pointless. They are fun, though.
It's a way for us to talk about all the games we liked.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Again.
And also the fact that we guess games that aren't on people's lists gives us an opportunity to talk about things that are still interesting of the year, but maybe not our top games.
The thing I liked about making the list this year is, given this has been my first year with Baby, I think I underestimated how many games I've actually played. Because when I actually sat down and went, that's
Quite
right.
a fair
I
few.
played this, I played this.
It's
I
been
noticed,
a long year.
the last couple of years, I've noticed, you're like, I didn't play much. And then you realize all the stuff between January and April that you've forgotten about.
Yeah.
And there's usually quite a lot in that 4 months.
Well, I have to make an admission. My top 100 list is actually a top 99 list. I had a game doubled up on
12
there.
minutes
Oh,
off.
no.
So I actually need to go and play another game from last year just to get that up to 100. So if there's any suggestions tonight...
But it has to be something that goes in the top 100.
Yeah, it can't be in the top 10. It can't negate my choices. So something average, not too bad. Okay. Other than that... I think the other thing, Sam and I were talking before the show, before you got here, we weren't ignoring you, was that this year is... Some people said it was a bad year. I think that's absolutely rubbish. There are a bunch of... I rank everything, and in my top rank, there's more than the top 10 was in the top rank. It's just that it is a year of many very, very good games, and as far as the cultural zeitgeist goes, nothing that's really... jumped out at everyone.
I think this is the year that we've been dealing more so than last year of COVID fallout in game dev. There's is the lead time.
The first year there was already stuff happening that could come out.
And we'll see it this year as well. We're going to see COVID. Yeah, and I think next year we'll think things will start to get back to normal. But it did feel like this was a year of maybe, especially on the big projects, like your Battlefields and things like that.
But then also, when it comes to our top 10, how often are those fucking things in there anyway?
Oh, no, it doesn't. But just more in gaming in general,
all the time with
the
James.
broader.
Yeah. Well, it's when they had the Game Awards. It was like, these are all good games nominated.
None of them stand out.
Yeah. I don't know which one will win. And surprised it Takes Two. But then I was also fine with that. So whatever. Anyway, let's begin with Game of the Year.
We need a Game of the Year theme song.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
We're ranking it.
James, you get to start off the formalities of the night.
Talk about favoritism.
All right.
Well, it's more order. If I go first myself, that seems
Look,
Yeah.
I
too narcissistic.
James is the
I always like the idea of going for the big games first. Because,
Okay.
we knock them out. I'm going to say, Sam, your number 1
Okay.
is Baldur's Gate 3.
Nope.
Oh, really?
That's a number 5.
Number 5?
Which...
I mean, I actually went and looked how much I've played it.
Yeah,
I'm at over 120 hours,
Yeah.
which is a lot for an early access Act 1 game, but it's number 5.
Wow, okay.
Because
I am now very interested in the rest of your list.
I'm pulling one over you guys this time. I've ranked my list to a very specific set of my own rules
Oh, okay.
of how I've weighted things.
And I've spreadsheeted it up this year instead of using my brain and a pen and paper.
Yeah, so it might be quicker.
So technically now,
We know
James
who
has
wins.
1 point, and the game that's Game of the Year for the show is currently Baldur's Gate 3.
Nice.
So,
We can stop here.
Sam, what's your pick?
I'm going to pick one of your 3 things.
One of my... Oh, okay.
Is it a play date?
No, because
God damn it.
the play dates did not
But
come
we
out.
bought them.
We bought
But
them.
they're not here.
They exist in theory.
They think some people have preview units. But I
I've
don't
seen
think
the
they're shipped.
shipments.
I thought they were shipping to them to test. They haven't
I've
shipped
seen
to
I've
us
seen
yet.
the 2 boxes that they're spot checking.
We do want play dates,
Yeah.
though. Give them to us. These are the.
So I did misunderstand the rules of your 3 things.
It will be there aren't any rules. I mean, it could have been a play date, but I just that's future excitement.
I don't mean rules. I
can
mean
you,
how
like-
you've decided.
Can you bank that for next? 'cause
Yeah,
next
probably.
year it'll
be this
the,
year.
Oh yeah, I'll make
Or
a
this
note.
year, I should
I
say.
expect
Yeah.
all 10 games this year to be playdate games. Just every single one of them.
next.
As long as because it's going to be one a month,
Play
isn't it?
Yeah.
So it has to be. We have
But
to
there'll be
buy
extra.
Feb.
There'll be
No,
extra.
it's two a week.
Two a week. Oh, then we're set.
2 a week plus whatever third-party extra stuff, which is
Yeah.
already happening.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for
There's
the
some
porn
cool
games on
stuff.
that thing. Okay, me. Oh, I better make a pick. Okay, what's on my list of things? Oh, I think I can knock out someone stealing stuff from me as well.
It's a smart play.
Shit. Fuck. What number? Okay, Sam.
Yep.
Your number 2 is Inscription.
No, it's not.
Oh.
Description's at number 3.
Fuck. Well, I mean, it was there.
Because I have that on my list.
Yep.
I actually gave it my number 1.
Oh,
Okay, so I had it for you at
Yeah.
10
No.
because you didn't like it after the first act.
No, but that's like it wasn't. I thought it was bad after the first act.
Yeah.
It just wasn't as much my thing. But I enjoyed that first act so much.
did it outweighed the rest?
Yeah.
See, I have Inscription at the top of my list of things that I want to guess for you, but they're not
Ah,
they're not
yeah,
numbered.
yeah. No,
but it
no.
is the first one I put on there.
And I want to get up high to give it like
Where was it for you,
Visibility.
Paul?
I have to check. For me, Inscription was... Fuck, who made all these
Was it
things?
not on there?
Inscription is my number 6.
6.
So...
No, that just like just sort of merging that kind of escape room stuff with the card game. And
It was pretty fantastic.
Yeah,
like that by itself is a solid
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, no, like that especially like, and I know if eventually we'll jump into the second act when I'm in the mood for like
and I
Hearthstone.
do like that they've updated it where you can just play the first act forever.
Yeah. In fact, I should just go back and play that forever because that first act is yeah. I think I got a little bit scared when I got to the second act because it was so much new game.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, this is far more stuff.
Yeah, it's like it is. It's almost like it's multiple
There's
games.
too many mechanics. I have
That
to
first act
know.
is like
Yeah,
a game in with it's like
I-
it's fine on its
I
own.
just mastered
Yeah.
how the game worked, and now there's a new game.
He's a
It's
new
like I
game.
learned to play Magic, and now you've combined it with Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
How do I play this?
Yu-Gi-Oh! Common is the worst. Okay, so after one round, Inscription is currently Game of the Year.
Yes.
It might stay there.
Which it could stay there.
Yeah.
It could stay there. Okay, James, time for your second pick.
Second pick. All right. I think I'll alternate. I think I'll go to Paul
Okay.
next. And I'm going to say your number 1,
Okay, let me check because I got to rule what everything is.
because
Yes,
I could go for it, is Puzzling Places.
incorrect.
Oh.
My number 2 is
It's
Puzzling Places.
I knew it would be up there.
I'm at least That's 2 for 2 on games that I would have guessed in the incorrect
That's
places.
why you go for the the easy fruit. That's the strategy. We've done enough of these
Easy
games
fruit
now.
or your own ones. So no one can get points.
You want to get those early points.
Okay, my number 2, Puzzling Places by James. Good pick. Yeah, Puzzling Places. I don't think this will be on really anyone else's list anywhere. In fact, even when there were VR awards, I did not see a single nomination or piece of people hasn't even mentioned the goddamn game.
Which is a shame.
Because it's a perfect game. It is, because you've played it now, haven't you, James?
Yeah. It is a virtual tennis / Jackbox. It's like, I mean, you don't know Jack of video games.
Oh, just then that it is exactly what it needs to be.
It is the perfect execution of what it is trying to do.
Yes.
On the perfect medium for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. It's a puzzle game in VR, and you're building 3D objects that have been scanned. It's truly wonderful. Also, I was wrong in something I said earlier. Inscription was my number 5, not my number 6.
Oh,
okay. Fix up. That gives us a couple extra points.
And puzzling was number 3, you said?
No, number 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I can. If you need to check what numbers are available at any time, feel free to, because I can show you this list at any time.
Yeah.
I just can't show you my list. Sam.
Paul.
Yes.
Your 3.
Okay.
Death's Door.
No. My 3. No, I don't do that.
No. You just say where, if it's on there or not.
Death's Door is my number 6. So it was the one that we did last time. Okay. Now, Death's Door is also kind of like, whilst I wouldn't put it in the perfect game thing as I do with puzzle thing, I still have something. It is the sort of top-down action Zelda just done like right.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't necessarily do anything new, but everything it does is kind of perfect.
Yeah.
And
It's
the
polished to the
style-
9s.
Oh, it's so nice. Now,
And it's my number 2.
it's your number 2. Okay. And that's an extra point for Sam there. Is it on your list at all, James?
No, because I actually have not played it.
Oh, I mean,
not played it at all.
It's not on my list for you anyway,
Yeah.
but could be. Yes, Death's Door is fucking cool. That little crow.
Did very much enjoy it.
Yeah, and then it came out on Switch, and the Switch port is great. So it's on everything now, I think. Is it on Xbox?
Yes.
Was it on Game Pass?
No.
Okay.
Almost no Devolver stuff is on Game Pass. that I can
Because they
think of.
don't need to. Because their stuff is just good.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah. I've noticed as
Save money with Game Pass to spend money on Devolver games.
as
What they need is Devolver
yeah.
Pass.
As Annapurna games have gotten worse, I noticed that all their games are on Game Pass now. I think except for the new Hyperlight Drifter one, which once I realized that was a full price game, I just noped out of there because all the reviews seem to say it was, because what is it? It's something Solar Ash. Solar Ash.
Solar Ash.
All the reviews are like, yeah, it's cool, but it's just doing the same thing the whole time. It's like, that's not a full price game to me. They need variation. Do I have an exception to that in my role? We'll find out. Okay. It's time for me to pick, isn't it? Okay. Game of the games. James, what is on my list for you? James, your number 2 is the Halo.
No.
No. Is it on your list at all?
It is.
Where is it on your list?
Oh, I take that back. Yes, no, it is my number 2. You're right.
Awesome.
Sorry,
Well done,
the
Paul.
ordering of my list got a bit confusing. Yes, it is my 2. Even though I haven't really played the co-op, or the co-op's not there, the single player that much, because I'm kind of waiting on co-op. It has become my go-to competitive shooter of the year, and I think it's managed to keep that core Halo-ness alive of that game mode, and in an age where everything is trying to homogify into this one thing, like we've seen with the latest Battlefield. It has kept its Halo identity, and I still really like that gameplay.
It's cool. Sam, where was Death's Door on your list?
Number 2.
Where was Inscription on your list?
3.
That's what I've done wrong. Never mind, Paul. Everything will be fine.
So far, you've put Inscription in the wrong place on everyone's list.
No. Inscription was
Got it wrong for
I got
yours,
it wrong on
and you got
mine.
it wrong for
I
mine.
did. Yeah.
All right,
I'm a fool.
it's my turn.
Yes.
Okay, I think I guessed you last, didn't I?
Yes.
So, all right, I'll go for a Sam guess. All right, so Sam, I'm going to say your number 5 is Wildermyth.
Would you like a different guess since I've already said my number 5 was
Oh.
Baldur's Gate?
Yes, Baldur's Gate
Oh
3 is
yeah,
5.
what numbers are free?
So 4, everything past 5, and 1.
I'll say 4.
Nope. But it's number 7.
Number 7.
Yeah.
Oh,
It definitely ranked on there.
What
The last minute edition near the end of the year there.
What I do also like about that is that you sort of said you never spoke about it on the show. You're
No.
just like, oh, by the way, thanks for recommending Wilderness.
Yes.
It's really good.
I was hoping I'd sneak that one on the
Yeah.
list. I was like, I haven't talked about it, but it's definitely on the. Definitely
Look,
on there.
I
It's
feel like-
really quite good.
For the sake of fairness,
Uh-huh.
I should say there is one game on my list
That you've never spoken of?
that I have
Never been mentioned in history.
spoken of on the show.
Cool.
Okay.
So we're not going to get that.
But,
Thanks, James.
but would we know it from other discussions? Was it on the list of all games we've played that I said?
No.
Okay. Cool.
We have a complete wild card. Well played.
Well, it looks like someone's going to get in there with an extra... Oh, that's right. That was the other rule I forgot. And if you get a point for every slot that isn't guessed by the end of the show.
I guess.
Okay.
and I'm
Because we're
glad I
stopping
put
after
it-
like 2 rounds
Yeah.
of no.
Yeah, and 2 rounds of
Yeah.
no successful guesses is when we stop the guessing. I realised I forgot to add a few to the overall list. I must be missing one. We'll admit. Okay, cool. We're all done. We're all happy and beautiful people. Especially me. Sam, it's time for you to guess.
What do you have available 5 and up?
I have 7 onwards.
I mean down then.
I have 3, 4, and 1.
Let's go for 4 for unpacking.
Unpacking is not on my list,
That's it. I've lost.
which I feel
Tim and Ren are
bad.
gonna be
I feel
sad.
bad about because it is an excellent game.
Yeah.
It is still high up my rankings of the year. But yes, Unpacking local game, excellent. But yes, not on my top 10. Is it on either of
That's
yours?
fair enough.
No.
It's not.
It
So
is
all 3 of us can be.
and
making
it
people
won
sad.
Z Games Game of the Year.
Okay.
Which, even though I didn't vote for it, I knew it would
Yeah.
because out of the everyone's taste at the thing, the most people had played that and
Yeah.
liked it. So I'm like, it will just
Seems
get
about right.
it will just get the most votes for default. I know that my vote of puzzling places will go nowhere. Yes, but Unpacking's won Eurogamer's Game of the Year, I think. It's done very well
That's good.
around the place. It's very funny watching the salty people over that, as if it means anything. Well, no, it means something to be recognised, but it's like, oh, how could this? They didn't use science to pick this. Basically, what are you talking about? They liked the game. It's a good game. Okay, so no Unpacking on anyone's list. Time for
No
Paul to
points.
have a guess.
Mhm.
James has the most open spots, and we know one of them is bullshit. Um,
I bet it's
So-
his top one.
It's not, but it's pretty high. Here's another hint.
okay, James. Oh, that was because I've sort of reordered and sort of just guessing it now. I mean, 'cause it did re-release this year, but whether or not you're lame enough to recount it.
Okay, you want another hint?
I like how he says
No,
he says
no.
lame enough when he gave us permission to add re-releases to our lists.
Oh yeah. But no.
Like, you can do it, but if you do, you suck.
Oh no, you can definitely have things that are like expansions and everything. But I just mean that James is lame. James,
Always negging.
Yeah.
You actually gave your number 10 to It Takes Two.
No.
No,
No, it's not on my
It was a
list.
wild guess. Not on my list either. Not on
No.
yours.
No.
Fuck, what a
I haven't played
wasted,
it yet.
what a wasted guess. It's still a good game, but that's it. It's done. It Takes Two, 0 points.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna get back to Sam. All right. What numbers have I got? Like 5 and up.
You have 6, 8, 9, and 10.
All right, other way.
When we say up, we
You
mean
mean
better.
like better?
4 and 1.
I'm gonna go 1.
Yep.
No. I'm gonna go 4.
Yeah.
Horizon 5.
Not even on the list.
What?
Not on the list.
That is the hottest, briefest love affair I have
It
ever
would
heard.
have. It would have gone to number 11.
I
But
had
here's the thing. I fucking love Horizon 5.
I know.
know,
That's why I
but-
put it. I thought 4. You think 4 was a safe bet?
But it was a hyper focus for 3 weeks.
That's still a lot of time.
Yeah.
I've stopped thinking about it.
That was, you said 80 hours and you hadn't
Yes.
stopped playing at that
Correct.
point.
And if I had to review it, I say this is a very good video game. But it doesn't hang around in my brain very much.
I really thought number 4 was like a good spot for
Because
that
it was
one.
the checkout game. It was the
Yeah.
I'm not thinking. I'm
Alright.
disassociated completely
But I
while
thought
driving.
isn't that the fun?
I mean, yes, but it's not the game of the year.
It does, yeah,
Top 10
it
fun
really is
ranking
like, if you said to
rules
me, like,
for me.
which game is better, Horizon 3, Horizon 4, or Horizon 5, I'd say Horizon.
Yes, all of them.
Because it's just like a thing that you
When
can
do
do.
when do they give us a Horizon where it is like what the new Battlefield tried to do, and it's just all of them?
Well, actually, what I want them to do next is Microsoft Flight Simulator Horizon.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
combine the two.
Yeah.
And then throw in that one that isn't even made by them with all the skiing and stuff.
Steep.
Oh, Steep.
Oh, no,
No,
now it's
that-
Riders Republic?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Which is the sequel to Steep. They
Yeah,
changed that.
just throw that in there.
Yeah, let's do it all.
Let me run over snowboarders
No,
while a
dream.
plane crashes into us.
Exactly. Okay, is it on your list at all, James?
No.
Well, another 0 points. Shit, we're getting close to just
was
ruining the
3
game right at
zero
the beginning.
guesses.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, I like the game, but it wasn't different enough from 3, which is one I really liked. So it's sort of like, if I have to pick any one of them, I'm going to pick the Australia one.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, seems like a good choice.
Okay. Sam, time for you to take a pick. Take an obvious one. Just
Alright,
get some
Jamesy.
points on the thing.
Yeah.
If I can just throw a dart at a number,
Between 3 and 10.
let's call it 4 for the hell of it. Death Stranding.
Nope.
Is
No,
it on
it's-
your list?
No.
It's not even on there?
You're
you
a
got
brave
us.
man.
No.
Well,
Well, there
because
You
is-
tricked me.
you didn't really play much of the director's cut yet.
Oh, well, if you were to ask me what is different about it,
Nothing.
Yeah,
I
I
that
would
is a
say
fair point.
the
actually.
frame rate.
You
and-
you hooked me in by telling me you put it on there 10 times.
it was a
And I was
ruse.
like, well, it's got to be on there once.
Yeah, no. I couldn't justify it given that it's, at least from what I've played so far, it's a
You haven't encountered
it's a very
the new
minimal
things.
re-release. Like
Yes.
it runs nicer and looks nicer.
There are new things, so
They-
we've been told.
They are apparently there.
Yeah.
I just
I
have
bet
not
they're
noticed them
behind
yet.
puns.
Probably.
To unlock them with secret puzzles.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, not there. So if we had like
That's 4.
4
Yeah,
dots.
we-
So if you two both get 0 points,
That's it, game's over. Everyone
and
goes home.
we all get a lot of points at that point.
Okay, Sam, your number 1
Go for it.
is Outer Wilds Echo of the Eye.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well done.
It is also my number 1.
Oh, okay.
You know why it's my number 1?
Because it's fucking amazing
yes.
in every single way.
I don't have it on my list.
Well, of course, you didn't even play it, did you?
No.
No, because James doesn't like Outer Wilds.
No.
He likes Outer Worlds.
Yeah, Outer Worlds is a better video game.
Fuck you.
I wish
So
Outer
the Outer
Worlds
Wilds
got,
DLC.
it did get a re-release. I could have put it
It
on.
did, yeah.
On the Switch.
Got a bunch of DLC as
but
well.
apparently
What-
the
what?
Switch version is terrible.
How is that Switch version of Balan Wonderworld, by the way, Sam?
I haven't touched it yet. It's in the list of things to look at.
So, Outer Wilds, Echoes of the Eye, for a follow-up to what both you and I consider one of the greatest games of all time.
It just made it better.
They did it.
They did the thing.
There are 3 moments in that game that I will never forget and will be unbeatable. And it is certainly the game, if anyone ever said to me, if you could use that amnesia ray from The Simpsons, the revolver,
yes.
to wipe a game from your memory so you could replay it.
definitely
It's
that.
definitely Outer Wilds because I tried I'll replay Outer Wilds as well. I'm
You
like,
just the
you just-
memories come back and you're like, it's not fun. I'm not discovering. I'm just doing.
Yeah, I'm doing it, and it's like I like moving and I like jumping around the world, but it's like I'll always know where that secret passage is. I'll always know how this mechanic works, and but
I juggled putting it at the top, and the thing that pushed it there for me was the fact that when it came out, I played it the second it launched at midnight, and I put 2 hours in, and I went, "This is fucking amazing. I'm gonna go to bed." And I went to bed, and then I got up at 3 and finished it.
and it's not short either.
No,
It's
I was like, I'm going to bed, and then I couldn't sleep. Got up and just played it till it was done. 10 hours later,
Yeah,
And
it's
I'm like,
That's
yeah,
a big
that's-
DLC.
it's pretty
That's
chunky.
a chunk.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's over half the size of the original game, and the thing is because it's other than
There's
how
a
to
lot of things you
there,
can get really stuck on.
the majority of the game is in one new location, and the rest of the game wasn't like that. So it's actually, whilst it has the same design and mechanics behind it of like how they've put the thing together, well, the mechanics are all new in it because that's how the game works. It's all about learning how things work. It's like you're just spending all of that time in one place, so it's denser than anything else that's in the game.
I
I
do.
think the thing that
plan on-
gives it the length is there's only so much you can find in one loop.
Yeah.
So you've like it's going to take longer just based on how many things there are to do.
I do plan on giving it another go when the Switch version comes out.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how that runs. Cause,
If it runs alright. If it's doing like 15 frames a second, then I probably
Maybe
wouldn't bother.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you know, it is a complete 360 degrees of motion game, which, you know, if that's not going smoothly, that might make me... But I'll probably still look at it and... Is it worth buying it again? Because I can't relive it.
Probably not.
No. Anyway, but it is an amazing game. So that's points back on the board.
Yeah.
And
Couple of points for Paul.
Yes. The overall scores are currently Paul on 8, James on 3, Sam on 1.
Yay.
Alright. It's my turn, isn't it?
Yes.
Alright, I'm going to go guess for... Who did I guess last time?
It doesn't matter. Just
I'm trying to
you
bounce between.
guess me.
Who's got the most...
there's more spaces on mine.
Alright, okay, let's go for Paul. I'm going to go your number 8 is Metroid Dread.
Incorrect. Metroid Dread is not on my list.
Not at all.
No.
Okay.
In fact, it was one of the... Once I got, like, the top tier of stuff, it was probably the first one I cut.
Okay.
Because whilst it's a very, very well-made game, it also is just a very well-made game that really didn't make much long-lasting impression on me.
Okay.
It's a very well Metroid game.
Yeah, I was playing Inscription at the same time, and we could tell which one stayed with me. But yes, Metroid Dread, not on my list. And I assume not on anyone else's, because I was the one that played it the most.
No.
Yes, Metroid Dread gets to sit there with another 0-point game. Okay, Sam, save us from this no-point wonderland.
This is getting interesting now. Let's go for an interesting one.
Okay,
Paul.
okay.
Somewhere down the bottom. So let's call it...
Everything from 7 up is free.
You
call it
mean...
9
Okay.
for Overboard.
No, Overboard is my number 3.
Oh, goddamn. I should have ranked that way higher for you.
Yeah.
It's my number 10.
Nice. Okay, get Overboard on here. 3.
There's another one I snuck in because I don't think I mentioned much that I'd played it. Because
No.
you did the main
James,
review.
sorry, what was it in your list, Sam?
Number 10.
10. James, you didn't play?
No, I did not.
So Overboard is just like, as far as new time loop games this year, everyone's like,
very
oh,
good.
Deathloop or Loop Hero or
Overboard
any of these
is-
things. It's like most of those other games aren't really even time loop games that are a thing.
Overboard's such a tight... Like...
it's yeah,
Ugh.
it's
That's the interactive fiction
good.
one, isn't it?
yeah. It's so cleverly put together. It won me over in the first 5 seconds.
Yes.
Because it's just like, oh, you are villainess, and you, oh, husband, I hate you. Push him off, and it's like, ah, and then it goes overboard, and like the music just kicks up, goes,
No.
Such a great intro.
and you're just like, that's it. I am a villain, and the game started. I've killed my husband. I've got a cool song, and now it's just the next morning, and someone's knocking at my door, and it's like, oh shit. Hello. So it's like, can I come and clear the room? Sure. And he walks in, and then one of the options is to just beat him to death. I'm like, may as well.
Panic mode.
It's like, oh shit, now there's a body here. And it just goes, it is the best, like, Agatha Christie style, like, mystery detective thing, except you being the bad guy trying to get away with it. And then they just keep, like, you can get away with it pretty quick. But can you get away with it and get the insurance money? And get the lover? And not be blackmailed? They keep adding all these new levels to you and giving you new challenges.
It's like one of the best guided games, too.
It
doesn't guide you so much that you know what you're doing, but it gives you just enough to, like,
They'll say,
explore
like,
it.
have you explored all of this person's motives? Or just like, try this, look over here. And then also for an actual time loop game where, you know, like, for all loops that are in Deathloop, I would not call it an actual time loop game. It's more of a narrative with a looping theme.
Yeah.
Like, this is, the problem with an actual loop is you have to do the same thing every time. Outer Wilds, you have to get in that ship and get to the planet every single time. Thankfully, it's quick. Overboard, just as quick. It remembers your previous playthrough. You can say fast forward. Fast forward to the point I wanted to try something different. Here we go. Off we go. Whole game you can play through in like 5-10 minutes. And then you'll spend hours doing all the permutations and playing. And you can go talk to God and say, God, I'm stuck. Give us a hint. And then you can steal from the church. He's like in the church. You can steal from him. Overboards. Man. It's one of those things that I do question, like putting it high, and then I start talking about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, Overboard's,
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Overboard's awesome. Okay, time for me to pick. Okay, speaking of which, Sam, is your number 9 Deathloop?
It's not, no.
No, is it on your list at all?
It is, it's 4.
4. Oh man, I ragged on it too hard in that last talk.
Because I still very much enjoy it.
Oh man, that's what I put it at too. I was going to guess it. It's not on my. Is it on my list? Hold on.
It's still a very good game.
It is, yes.
Isn't it?
It has its issues, but it is the
It
exact...
is on my list.
It's the exact game I wanted.
Oh, what is it on your
It's
list?
number 4.
I didn't even know you'd really played it at all.
Yeah. Sneaky.
Yeah.
Sneaky, James.
Yeah, that's good. Extra point for Paul.
Yeah. Paul's
Death.
very much in the
Oh,
lead.
hold on. No, I got the time loop game wrong. Take that off. It's not on my list. Take it off.
Can I guess next? Because I know which one James means.
Are there any other ones with loop in the name? Let's find out.
Nice one, James. What was that? Number 6?
No,
6 you said, right?
Yeah.
That was
11.
one of my my Game Awards. Actually, like, I can't believe they didn't do that, where they didn't give Deathloop best voice acting.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely should have, because all the way through, and then especially in the finale sequence, it is some of the best banter I've ever heard. And yeah, it's the game I wanted when they announced it, which is nice.
It wasn't the game I wanted. But we argued about that so much.
We spent a lot of time like, what even is the game?
Yeah, you're like, it'll be this. I'm like, no, but that's not a time loop game. That's not what I want. And then it came out and it did work, and it was how you described.
And it's technically a time loop, but also not.
Yeah. It's and you can see exactly why they made the choices they did, how it was structured. But yes, I never got I wasn't going to get my Outer Wilds fix from
Deathloop. Definitely not.
No, but it is cool, and I love the architecture in the game, just the level design and how those levels are laid out.
There's something about Arcane stuff that are just like, they pick a theme and then they're just so good at executing that theme. Like the whale punk from Dishonored.
Yeah.
It's so wild, but it just works because of how they build everything. They think about like all of the details.
They do some.
I guess there's a reason they're some
work.
of the top, immersive sim devs.
Yes.
Now that Thief doesn't exist.
Oh, poor Thief. Okay. James, it's your turn to pick again.
James has to guess this one.
All right.
James has the most gaps on his list, by the way. He is the most.
He's about to have
he's in a
less.
big
I'm
mode.
about to have, all right.
God, I hope you
So-
say 12 minutes.
Yeah. 12 looping minutes is the name of the title.
Can I
Right?
look at the list?
Oh, what's that?
Yeah. All right, I'm going to say Paul.
And remember, I've got the 3 things as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
One of which I tried to guess, but the 3 is still
so
out
what?
there.
Can you remind me the 3 thing rules again?
Like companies, services, things that can be.
Okay.
Basically, Paul's 3 favorite things this year of stuff.
Or things that I'm just like excited about in the industry. Or things that I thought like really
Which is why
nailed
I
it
guessed,
out of the park.
That's why I guessed Playdate.
Yeah. No, because this one's kind of a giveaway. I gave it away. I'm going to say, look, it's Paul's number 3. Deathloop.
That would be weird since we've already done Deathloop and
No.
and
Loop
Overboard is my number 3.
Loop Hero.
Loop Hero is not on my list.
No, on your list. Oh, not mine.
What is it on your
It was
list?
my number 4.
Was it 4th
What?
for chance?
But I thought that was we're numbering Time Loop Hero. What the
Time
Loop Hero.
Deathloop Hero.
Loop Hero? Was it on your list, Sam?
Yes, it was. It's number 8.
It is on Sam's list for 1 point for James.
It's a very good loop video game.
Yes, it was still high on my list, but not making the cut for me to get in there.
And I'm glad it's got a Switch release now, because that is
The Switch
quite
plays
a
very
perfect
well.
platform
Yeah.
for it.
That's where I spent most of my time with it.
I'm also just double checking that it isn't on my list. No, it's not.
I like it when effectively new genres are I made up. Like I don't know where I'd put Loop Hero in what it is. It's kind of, I guess,
reverse tower defense.
Reverse tower defense, but
also not.
No.
So
like,
it's a resource management game. It's a card game.
It's a resource management
It's a
tower
builder.
defense escort quest.
builder.
with some rogue elements in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's weird, and I still haven't played enough of it to understand all the stuff. Like, I need to put in more.
I went back to it a few weeks ago and discovered some new stuff that was wild.
I just love the writing in it. I know it didn't land for everyone, but I just love the fact that, especially when a new thing was on the board and you encountered it, you'd stop and have a chat with them.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
we don't have to fight. It's like, but I must fight you. No, there was some fun dialogue in there. So you miss out on saying Loop Hero.
Yeah, shame.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't get my 3 points.
So, Sam, what's your pick going to be? There are lots of slots in James's
Yeah, I
list.
know, because James is the one I don't know. Okay.
And
What slots do we have for James's list?
On James's list, we have everything 5 and down and 3.
Let's go for 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a wild pick at 7.
Yeah.
And a wild guess at Valheim.
Nope, not on my list.
Okay.
It is on my list.
Oh.
I
I
think
did think it was going to be on both of your lists.
I think it is my number 10.
Well, that's what I picked.
Oh,
I
yeah.
picked- I picked it for you. I
it
picked-
is my 8.
Yeah, I picked it as your number 10.
Yeah, it is my number 8, Valheim. Valheim, I could not, in all good conscience, not include one of my highest hour played games of the year.
Why not?
Where was it on your list?
I don't have it
Oh,
on
you
my
have
list.
it?
No,
Oh.
but I picked it for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
you picked.
It's not on my list,
You,
but-
you picked it for James, but you just
Yes.
okay.
Sorry,
1 point
I
for me.
confused
So
it a
1
bit.
point for Sam. Yeah, that's all good.
Yeah.
No, because Valheim is just.
It is very good.
It's very good. It's not finished.
No.
And basically, the group that I play with, we're now as far as content drops go, we're not interested until the game is done now. It's like, yes, we don't care if we can build a few extra items and stuff like that.
Give us the whole game.
Yeah, we'll wait for the whole game now, because we did all the content in the original game, and it was great. And you know what one of my favorite things was? Hot tip for scumbags. Because it's not like it's dedicated servers. It's not like it tracks your character online. You use a character editor.
Yeah.
So I was playing with people that you'd log in and you'd built a little shack and you come back
They're
and
like
there's a city
700
there.
hours
Yeah.
ahead.
And it's just like, so what's everyone's wood cutting level around? Oh, we're around 70. I'm like,
Yeah, me
"Great.
too."
Yeah.
I am also around 70 now. Great. Let's keep playing together.
Yeah.
It's always the problem with those games where some people have slightly more time.
Yes.
Like,
Well, I think
I'm gonna fall behind.
when I was playing it with you, that was the issue I expressed with those games
Yeah.
in general. It's that exact thing, and it's one of the things that keeps me away from them because I don't really want to edit my character, even though I should.
You have always been against. I remember you
Yeah.
getting annoyed at me when we were playing Borderlands, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I've got this." I'm like, "You got what? Okay, cool. Okay, I'm joining your game. I also have that now." Like, but I worked for 20 hours to get that, Paul.
I
I'm like,
worked for it.
Yeah,
but I don't like this game.
Yeah, and I know, and it's smart. But yeah, that I don't like doing it, and so that's what kind of keeps me away from them.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a happy, because at what certain point it doesn't matter very much in the game.
Yeah.
You do still have to, you were still resistant to taking equipment from other people because we were like, here, just come grab the stuff. But that's where the game really works, because
Yeah.
your actual levels don't matter for very much. It becomes like what gear you have, and if someone's been out smelting iron and making armor, it's like, hey, yeah, we got armor in the armor room. Go and get armor.
I think part of it is if you're invested heavily into it, it feels kind of shit to log in and then just be given stuff because someone else played more.
Yeah,
Editing feels like a better option to someone else being like, I played for 70 hours, here's free stuff.
Yeah. The things
like,
that
oh, okay.
the things that were best in the game were basically when we went on big journeys that fucked up. You were there when we went on a long journey to the swamps, and we basically got there, and everyone got murdered.
Yeah.
Someone should make a survival game like that has no progression.
Yes.
Where
I think
it's
that
just the explorative.
yeah, I think there have been a few pushes towards that, but I don't know what that what's the Victorian one coming out?
Oh, the one that
Nightingale.
Nightingale.
yeah,
Yeah,
where
don't-
there's different
I-
portals to different
Yeah,
places.
although I assume that's still going to have progression,
Yeah.
and Icarus and stuff like that. Which, while you get progression, it's still focused on smaller adventures out there. Yeah.
So what you want is co-op Outer Wilds.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Everything should.
I believe there's a mod for it.
Oh,
Yeah. And
For
VR. Do you want to
multiplayer
play
Outer
Outer Wilds in VR?
I definitely don't.
It's got a cockpit.
I'd say I'm all right there.
It does, yeah.
As long as I'm in the cockpit,
And a
I'm
helmet
fine.
if you're out of the ship.
And if you
Which
forget
is
the
kind
helmet,
of
you
like
die.
a cockpit.
I love the Outer Wilds in that you run into the ship and you go like, launch, off we go, set your course. Then because doing it the fastest you can, so you don't put on your equipment until after you're out. And sometimes
you
just forget.
Yeah.
So you put in 30 hours to this game, and still you just walk out of the ship, take 10 steps away, you're like, my health seems to be oxygen. I remember you. Good stuff. Okay, so Valheim's pick. That was Sam's. That means I've got to pick. I guess I may as well pick for James because James has lots of games.
So many.
I do. And look, I will stand by my list because I went with the heart with this list. Went with the heart.
Okay, Resident Evil Village is your number 6.
Exactly right.
Yay!
That is 100%
Paul's good
right.
at this.
Yeah.
Village.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good Resident Evil game.
It was a solid one with some
Yeah.
hilarious things
Yeah,
that happened
yeah.
in it. And I cannot wait to see what they do with 9. It's going to be wild.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I'm interested to see what the tone ends up being for the next one. Like, will they go back to the more horror? Will it be more actiony? I don't know.
I assume it's not on your list, Sam.
No.
No.
I have experienced all of it through someone else.
Yeah.
Because I don't do horror.
Well, what I loved, there were all, like
Oh god, I just remembered the baby.
the baby scene, which I
That-
brought up to your wife
that
just
was
last week.
terrifying.
Yeah, that was legitimately
That was not
terrifying.
fun.
Yeah.
I disagree with you both heavily, and I was giggling.
No. It was hilarious, and I hated it.
Yeah.
All the hand stuff. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Which really,
There was some wild stuff
it
in that game.
like it was one of those things that because his hands they torture your character's hands throughout the game to the extent that your hand gets chopped off in a now very famous scene, and you just glue it back on.
Yeah.
And unsurprisingly, they're not that dumb, and it is a plot point.
There is actually a reason for it.
There is an
yeah.
explanation for it. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty
It works
satisfying
out
the way
okay.
they're all wrapped up.
Yeah. Story wise, I have never cared about Resident Evil's story, and now I can't wait to see what the story of the next game is. I'm like anything, and the fact that this was all like fairy tale-y, which is like
It's nice to lean into the
Yeah, well, I
the
guess-
weirder a bit more.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
because like, they've moved
Not
away
just zombos.
from all this zombie
so many other zombie
corporation
things doing it. Yeah.
like yeah.
I mean, they're still there.
but it's not really.
but they're not-
They're in the periphery. Like it's sort of like
There's a lot
they'll-
more supernatural.
Yeah, there'll be like a mention and there'll be a force in the game.
Yeah,
but-
and they'll say like, "Oh, it was a biohazard." That's the name of the game. And that's about it, really. But anything, who gives a shit? There's one of the main characters is Magneto. Okay, James, time for you to have a pick.
All right, I'm gonna say Sam.
Okay,
I'm
he has space 6 and space 9 free.
gonna say 6.
Okay.
I'm gonna say the Barbara Is You DLC.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
Well played.
that was.
Yeah.
And I that was another one I was like, not sure if I should put this on. Not because it's DLC to a game that already is out, but because it's kicking my ass and I know there's probably quite a lot I haven't experienced
Yeah.
with it yet. But what I have has been fantastic.
Yeah.
It is
from what you've said,
in
it
a
really
very different
mixes it
way,
up.
obviously, but very much like the Outer Wilds DLC. They've managed to take what was an already incredible concept and just make it more. And I didn't know they could do that with Barbara Is You because it already had far too many things
Yes,
going on.
it's already an
Like,
incredibly packed concept.
I don't
that
know
goes
how they
into-
sat down and decided what they could add to it. Because some of the things they have added make sense when you look at them, but I don't think coming up with them would have been easy.
Yeah. Some people are just really good at making puzzle games.
Yeah.
I am not one of them. It
is a hell of a skill.
yeah.
It's one of those things like I can come up with puzzle concepts not too bad. Like okay,
Level
But-
designers.
but then how to actually
Oh.
like stage it in levels of complexity, and then how to make the hard levels.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just give up now. Thanks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I struggled doing them. Making them would be more difficult.
Like when I'm on the third island of what's the sausage one?
Steven Sausage Roll?
Steven Sausage Roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? I can just delete the game. It's like no problem with the game. I can't. I'm done. Goodbye. I have to think too many steps ahead. So I like chess, and I think I'm at a solid 3-step limit. And beyond that, nah.
The thing that Barbara's done so well is teaching you the concepts
Yeah.
through the levels. but then also they're very good at disguising just how simple a level can be by just throwing in lots of stuff that, if you stop and think about it, you can't do anything about.
Yeah.
So like it's overwhelming, and then when you actually figure out what the scope of what you can do is, it's actually quite simple to do some levels.
What I can't stand in Bubba is you're quite correct. You get a level and you're like, okay, all these things are blocked out. They cannot be
there's 10
moved.
rules, but I can only do 2 of them.
They are pushed against the wall. So really, all I've got to deal with is I've just got this one rule and these 2 things. Why do I still not get this?
That game makes me feel dumb like no other. Like I've tried to go back to that one a few times, and I do not enjoy it because it just makes me feel real stupid.
Maybe I need to group play.
I'll sit on a level for like 20 minutes and still love it.
Yeah.
Just be like, my brain hurts, but this is great.
Some clever motherfuckers that game is. Okay, Sam, time for your pick.
I'm running out of options.
Yes, you've got 3 on my list still. 4 on my list still.
4, because I'm literally out of options for James, I think.
Okay.
Unless any of these are also on James's. Let's just keep firing at the bottom half of your list.
Okay.
So 7, I believe, is still there.
7. Sorry, I've got too many forms open. 7 is available. Yes.
Yeah, keep throwing it. 7.
As is 9 and 10.
Do you have the new WarioWare on your list?
I do not.
It is on mine.
I should have gone for the James pick.
It is my number 9. My number 9. It's a good WarioWare game that we haven't had a good one in a while.
It's beautiful on the OLED.
Sorry, it was your 9?
Yeah, my number 9.
Yep.
I was super impressed that they managed to add characters with different abilities, and it still worked.
It's still quite fun.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I did just find... I was just surprised that it worked and it was fun.
Yeah.
And it really... the only way to play it is to randomize the characters you get.
Yes, yeah.
If you go in there and say I'm going to pick I'm going to pick all the good characters. It's like, fuck you. That is not the spirit of this game. And I think
because we just smash random, didn't we, every time?
Yeah, we just
it's the correct way.
No. I think maybe I'd put one deliberately trolley character in there, and then the rest was random. But also, then when I played it enough and it opened up, and the only criticism I had at first was that, it's just this 2-player mode, and it's like, no, it's got 4-player modes. It's got all the shit you want from a WarioWare multiplayer game. But yeah, it's but with just this added complexity, which I think is really fun and takes it is a different skill set because it's not just this memorization. It's the memorization, then the panic of but how the fuck do I do it with this weirdo?
With this mechanic,
And you get it feels like it's more generous than the other games time-wise, but still, some of those people, if you don't work it out straight away, there's no time to get it in. So it's a great messy game. It's a good equalizer. So WarioWare, get it together. Okay, that means it's time for me to pick. Okay, it's actually balancing out a bit more now. There's 1 spot left on Sam's list. There are... Oh, shit, there is still a lot on James.
James has a bunch.
Okay, so let's just stay with James. James, I think... look, it's a late entry. No, I'm not. No, fuck it. It's an old entry, which I was like, will he put it on the list again or not? I think you had so much fun replaying Disco Elysium with the director's cut that came out this year.
Not on my list.
Fuck you.
No, I tell you what, it was on there. Originally, I was going through it it was on there. But I ended up going with no re-releases.
No re-releases rule.
Let me just make sure I stay true to that.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no re-releases. But it is undoubtedly a great way to play Disco Elysium, having it. I mean, the biggest criticism is the technical of the load times are a bit long.
On the Switch, I don't understand it.
Yeah,
it's
it's very.
It's static backgrounds with
but
a couple of
them all.
Yeah,
it has to load them all.
I feel like it's the team is a team of amazing writers and amazing artists, and they just need the tech nerd to come in and say this is how the engine actually works, guys, because this game ain't that difficult.
Yeah, I would say it's probably exactly that. It was a very art and writing driven game, and technically is probably suffering a bit. And it's probably Miracle.
Maybe the backgrounds are 50 very high-res layered drawings.
Yeah,
I assume there's a bit of
my guess is memory. It's probably hitting some memory limits, and it's having to just reload everything. And I don't know. But yeah, I mean, apart from that though, like the game is phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, it is. I mean, we joked earlier in the year, and we almost did it, except James didn't include Death Stranding and Disco Elysium on his list again. Our top 3 from 2 years ago were Outer Wilds, Disco Elysium, Death Stranding.
Yeah.
And it was a very powerful year. I think it was Disco Elysium that took out that
yeah.
year. Because you don't like Outer Wilds, because you're a freak.
No.
Yeah. Okay, James, time for you to have another guess.
All right. Okay, who's got more slots? You
I
or
have
Sam?
more slots.
All right,
I only have the one left.
I'll go with Paul.
I have 4 open slots, which is one more than regular.
It's quite a few slots.
All right. Well, I'm going to go for what's one of your low slots?
My low slot, as in low number.
As in
Good or bad?
bad number.
Bad numbers. We've got 9, 10, and 7.
Yeah, I'm going to go 7 actually.
Okay.
I'm going to say webbed.
Webbed is my number. I have to check my
That's a
thing.
good
7.
Yay!
Yay! So this is the Brisbane name that got onto my top 10 instead of unpacking.
I mean, you bought the spider. Like
the spider's right there behind Sam. Yeah. Webbed is my number 7. Webbed is a simple game. It's a small game, and what it is, it brings me so much joy. I had so many tiny eye smiles when I played it. The thing I love the most is you're a little spider and you can fling web. Actually, one of those little, was it a funnel web? Either way, it's not one that actually does web, but it just was cute. Found one in the park the other day. I was trying to take really close pictures of it and show it. Just like, come on, Henry, look at it, but don't touch it. Don't poke it. You kill it. It's just a little spider.
You're talking about a little jumping spider or something?
I had a little jumping spider the other week.
Oh, yeah, they're so cute. I used to love it when I was at work and a little jumping spider get on your keyboard and you just jumping around, little guy.
Cute little buggers.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's super Australian, but you spin the webs, and the audio design is the length of the web changes the pitch of the web that you're on. Because every time you take a little step on it with every turn of your tiny little legs, it just goes pluck, 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 pluck. And it's so satisfying, and it has the best grab. Apparently, it was originally a 2D Just Cause remake.
Oh,
they were
really?
like, not official or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
They're just like, let's make Just Cause in 2D, and like, this is actually really fun, but we
Let's
can't
make it a spider.
Yeah, how do we? What can we do that isn't Just Cause? And then all the trappings are top, because you can turn off all the spiders, which I don't recommend, but some people have serious arachnophobia. And when you play it as blobs, it's still fun to move around. But the way that the legs interact and you spin and grab things is so well done. I finally met Riley, the main creator. There's another guy with I met him recently. I was like, man, your game fucking rules. So webbed, really, really cool, and that's 2 points for James.
Yeah.
James is coming up on those points. Oh, it's getting close. Okay, we'll do an update at the end of this round. So Sam, what's your picks?
I've run out of things on my list. Is what my picks are.
You got.
You can guess the
Well,
things.
there's the 3 things.
Yeah, I know.
There's one thing that I talk about like every time like a game comes out, and I go like, and thankfully,
It's Xbox Game Pass.
yes, Xbox Game Pass is one of the 3 things. Extra point for
Thanks for the
Sam.
free pass. Just like
That's
Xbox
right.
Game Pass.
Xbox. It is so much like it is the ongoing joke at Z Games that if someone says the words Game Pass, they summon me.
Just poke your head in. You're like, it's a good deal.
I have no problem shilling for Game Pass.
I do it
Like,
a lot on Twitch.
It's just it's a crazy good deal. Like you can't fault it.
It lets me play so many games that are on my like maybe list. And whilst I would have bought some of them, I would have never bought all of them. And then I get to talk about them and recommend them. And yeah, it's fucking nice.
And Outer Wilds is coming to it.
Oh, again? Is it coming back?
Again, it's coming back. Yes.
Sweet. Because I thought it was a few people were interested in it after
So if it disappeared
the
and you
DLC,
didn't want to buy it, like because you're weird,
you get another
you
chance.
come back and play the DLC.
Nice. Okay. So good point to say. That means it's time for my pick. Okay. I suppose I might as well stick with James. And the thing is, I'm down to. I still got plenty of games on James's possible list, but they're like, oh, would I really say this is one of his top? Let's find out.
Yeah.
Oh, that one I can delete as well. James, did you really, really enjoy our time with Root this year?
I did.
And did you put it as your... What numbers do we have? Did you put it as your number 7?
No. Oh wait, hold on. Let me. Yes, I did. It was number 7. Sorry,
James, the man who's bad at remembering where he puts
Sorry,
things
no,
on
it's
lists.
because I have the cell numbers in here and
the other way around. That's how I put Inscription at 5 instead of 6.
That's why I
I
get
had it the other way around.
Yes, because I think especially at the time when Roger was just born, playing a game that we could kind of asynchronously play over a week.
It was good.
It was good timing.
It's one of the best examples of board games that are better in digital form.
Yeah,
I really would kind of. I would have trouble playing that game.
So many rules.
Because it's basically a game per side.
Yeah, I think the only way you could play it, like the physical edition, is if everyone knows how to play, and everyone is only keeping track of their rules for their characters, and you just trust that everyone's doing their thing correctly.
Right, yeah. But yeah, like just as like being able to just like have such wildly different experiences depending on what faction you're playing.
And the strategies are wild.
Yeah. I mean, probably, I guess one of the criticisms is some of them don't work as well if there's not 4.
Yeah.
So they're like, it is definitely best played.
Especially with the DLC thrown in.
Yeah, like it is definitely.
It's very much designed to be cats and birds.
Yeah.
And then you add in
a
the
couple.
alliance, and then if you've got a 4th, you add in the Wanderer dude. I forgot the name of him.
Yeah. But yeah, like such a great mobile port of it. I think it is the best way to play it, and I think it's probably cheaper buying 4.
Maybe
it's about the same.
I think it's pretty comparable.
Yeah. Because I did actually almost buy the physical version a few times.
I was tempted to, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to play it.
Do I really want to actually play that physical?
Yeah.
Probably not, actually.
It'd be a lot.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm just double checking. I've got all the games in the actual overall game list because my stuff isn't completely automated, but it's close. Okay. So updates on the individual scores. Sam has a mighty 5 points.
5's alright.
James is at 8 and Paul is at 13.
It's doing quite good.
I don't like winning my own games because it makes me feel I've rigged it.
You're the most likely to.
Yeah, I am.
Because you know
obsessive.
the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I sent you the list of 140-ish games, these are the things in contention.
The thing is, the argument is that like most of the games on my list is going to be easily pickable or on your list.
Yeah.
And James is like a tier above that, where he has slightly more games, but it's generally still like a subset of your games. Every game guessed is a game Paul has played.
Kind of. Well, that list wasn't
For the most part.
That list. Some of those games I hadn't played. There were games that you guys had played,
Yes.
so I included everyone's in that long list. Okay, so James, what is your next pick?
Okay.
There's 1 slot on Sam's.
Yep.
And there are 3 on mine.
All right. Okay. What's the free one on Sam's?
9.
9. Oh.
Sitting between Loop Hero and Overboard.
Oh, I don't know. That's a hard one, actually.
That's what.
All right. Okay. Maybe I'll go for one for Paul. What's one of your bad numbers?
We've got 9 and 10 still.
All right. I'm going to say 10. I'm going to say Chicory.
It is not on my list.
Not on your list? Okay.
What a nice little game.
A little wholesome colour
Very much
filling
so.
game. I thought it'd be your bag.
You know what? Before it released, I also would have assumed it was on my top 10. And I played it, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't finish it. And the previous game, Wonder Song, I finished and 100% of that, and then the bonus you get after you finish that game is one of the nicest bonuses I've ever experienced in a game. Literally, the developer just tells you nice stories. It's like, hey, if you want to sit around, I'll tell you things about how we developed it and stuff. I'm like, this is very heartfelt and lovely. And I want to go back to it. But yeah, and I think, like, I think it was just like, at a certain point, the game, whilst relaxing, I was torn between playing the game and colouring in. And if I wanted to do both, it took a very, very long time.
Yes.
I'm always more just like, don't worry too much about the colouring in and play the game.
How far did you get through it, though?
Not much further than played in the demo, though.
So
it's not on my list.
The thing is that you get more and more tools, more than I expected the game would give us.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, shit, now I've got... When I was just colouring in with a brush, you go back to the first, like the demo areas and everything, I'm just like, blah, blah, blah. There's just some splashes of colours in here. And
it is fun to look at the map to see the progression, as you've gained the more advanced tools.
I've got the fill brush here. Well, obviously now suddenly all the levels are filled in instead of just a bit of splash paint here and there. Like at the beginning, I just started marking like where I've been. It's like X where I've been, blah blah blah. It's like all blank, and then later in the game, I'm like, I have to go back to the first area. It is not painted
Gotta
properly.
repaint it.
Yeah.
Someone did a shit job.
But yeah, it's a really nice game. It's beautiful. But yeah, I did not capture me at the end of the day. And it was not on your list?
It's not on my list.
Okay. Chicory. It's a wonderful game, though. Okay, Sam. Anything with
All
your
right,
picks?
Paul, you're number 10.
Okay.
No, I'd say 9. I'd say 9.
Okay.
Psychonauts 2.
No, not on my list. It was a high one. It was one of the ones that I struggle of whether I should keep it or not. I think it got to the top 13.
It's pretty good,
I was
though.
like, yeah. Psychonauts 2 is like an amazing story told in a very traditional way, which we have moved on from.
It's very much a sequel to Psychonauts.
Yes, and it's amazing
As
that
if it came out right after Psychonauts.
Yeah, I just wish that more of the story was integrated in the game and not just in cutscenes. But it's still, I still loved it. I'm not a fan of most game stories, and this one I thought was very heartfelt, very well written, very genuine. And I guess like my big criticism with it was just it didn't actually have the variety of gameplay the original game had. It had the variety of art styles, but it was still primarily just a platformer on the whole. Well, the
So
original
there was no Milkman level?
well, Milkman level was still platformery, but it does really change what you're doing.
Yeah.
But mostly it was just like getting to the end of the levels.
Yeah.
Like that's primarily what you were doing, really. There's a cooking level where you got to make meals.
That one was fun.
That's probably the most standout for me. But yeah, I still loved it, and I got to the end of it, and I was like, I like these characters. And what I loved, if you are a fan of the first game as well, you get to the end of the game, and it's Psychonauts 2 doesn't have that many characters from the first game involved in the story, but they're still there, and everyone like comes into the final scenes, and you're like, there are a lot of fucking characters in this story now, and they're all related to each other. So even if they didn't have a direct impact on this story, they're still involved with the people that are having that impact. And so that when you're all together, I was like, I know who every one of these people are and their motivations and and how they relate. That's really unique in storytelling. I'm like, yeah, I thought it was great, but yeah, just not top 10 for me. Not on either of your lists?
No.
Yeah.
Mainly because I just hadn't played enough of it. It could have been on there.
It was on your list of games that you had played for me, but I didn't think you'd played very much of it. I think you got up to the hospital casino, didn't you? Yeah. It's got the speculum nurse. Like, I'm going to give you a baby. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, good times. Okay, that means it's time for me to pick. I know Sam only has one left. So let's stay with James. let's just see what else could go in there. James. See, it's just I double guess my own things on the list because I'm like, I don't know how much you actually liked that at the end of the day. I think James. I think you at your number 10 really liked Game Builder Garage.
No, but it is on there.
Okay.
It is actually my number 5.
Oh, fabulous. That's higher than I expected, obviously.
Because I am a big fan of game building games, and it is a very good one. What I like about it is it gives you enough rope that you kind of have to think creatively to get around stuff, which is very game dev. I think it's something that I would, if I was 8, I would have loved the shit out of. I liked that it had the power of I could make a little animation controller. There was enough there that I could do that. It did just miss some of the things you'd need to do anything a bit more serious in it.
Yeah.
Mainly just some quality of life stuff.
Walkarounds, hey.
Yeah, I mean, probably the biggest thing was there's no concept of a template or something like that. So it's
prefabs.
No prefabs and things so it's sort of you end up having a lot of boilerplate copied and stuff. So I think that kind of limited exactly how far you'd really want to go with it. But as a tool for making shit, and like learning about how to make games, and also even just like programming in general, like it's pretty good. And it's kind of neat that like one of the first things it gets you to do is just make like a co-op, like a competitive game, like, you know, capture the flag style thing. And you know, if you're an 8-year-old and you've got like a sibling, and you could quickly make a competitive game, like it's pretty cool. But yeah, I really liked it. Yeah,
Good times. And it was basically just, well, it wasn't just, it was extended Labo.
Yeah.
It's like the program.
I wouldn't be surprised if Labo was like the base,
Yeah.
and they just built on top of it.
Yeah. It's got a good demo out too.
Yeah. Oh, and also it just did not have the sharing.
It had Nintendo's shitty ability to make an actual network.
And if it had the Mario Maker style like social stuff, where you could just look at like, you know, his featured games and like easily send stuff, but it just wasn't there.
You know what I did the other day for the first time? I transferred screenshots off my Switch using my phone.
I hit that button accidentally all the time.
That is a wild process.
It's a weird process, but it's
Switch
much
just
better than...
It hosts a network, and then you connect to it and visit a web page where it gives you your screenshots, and then you save the screenshots off of the locally hosted web page from your Switch.
Wow, okay.
So you scan a QR code to get your phone to connect to the Switch's
to
Wi-Fi
give you the
network.
Wi-Fi that it's broadcasting.
It's broadcasting a Wi-Fi network. And then you scan a second QR code, which takes you to the local IP address /index.htm, which has the 10 images you've selected to save to your phone.
But it's better than when
It's a good workaround.
I used to post them to
But it's
Twitter,
wild.
download them and delete them.
Yeah.
It's just so... Okay.
It's such a wild process. I'm like, why can't I just send it?
Yeah. Because you're a crazy
Just
person.
send me the image data.
No, we're
You
not
have
doing
Bluetooth.
that. Okay, James, we are back to you.
Yep.
Time for a guess. One slot on Sam's is number 9. You got my number 4, my number 9, and my number 10.
All right, I guess, Sam, I'm going to guess your number 9, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Was it Subverse?
No.
I just wanted some
You wanted some
titties. Titty games to be on
There
the
aren't
list.
any titty games on
No
there.
titty games.
I don't rank them highly. I just enjoy them. Although
you just
I
tits
very
in
nearly
gen-
put one on
tits
the
in
list.
general,
I did
let's just-
very nearly put one on the list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, tits in general. Subverse has many issues.
Yeah.
They have a problem in which they've made quite a well-made video game and quite a well-made porn production video system, and they do not go together.
They haven't really mushed them together
There's
well.
no seamless connection between the two.
Also, there's a couple of extra points going out because I realized I had the same problem that we had. I've now reversed the sell order of my top 10.
Yeah.
Because I kept doing it. So
Put the numbers next to the game names.
I have, but there's also next to the cell names. They're like, wait.
It is confusing, isn't it?
That's why I used the Notes app and
Yeah.
not Excel.
Okay, let me fix up my actual
All right.
order of games here. They're mostly right. Webbed is in the wrong
Means
position.
anyone could have any amount of points at this stage.
Yes, I think it's actually just Webb that's in the wrong position. So my
okay.
number 4 is gone. So my number 7, my number 9, and my number 10 still exist. And we didn't lose anything then, so nothing's really changed. Great. Okay, Sam, time
Does
for
it
your pick.
count as a game last year? Because I can't remember when you first mentioned it and when it came out. Because I got it and played it this week.
I'll need
But
more
at number
information.
9,
Yeah. No,
Shovel Knight,
incorrect.
Pocket Dungeon.
It did
Does it
come out
count as a
last
last
year.
year one?
It counted as last year, yeah.
okay.
But no, it did not get up there for me.
I played it
still
yesterday.
very- then how did you go with
It's
it?
very good. I have done a run to the end. I think it was my 4th run with
Nice.
the scythe boy. I've forgotten his name. Dude with the scythe. Where you get healed by killing enemies instead of potions.
Plague Knight.
Plague Knight, yeah.
I was like, it's something night. I'm like, is there something
They're
that they're all something night?
They're all night. Yeah, it is
yes.
very. I like it. I love it.
Fabulous. Okay. What?
All right.
Hey, I don't have that on my top 100. That means I do have 100. Yay!
There it is. Do I get a bonus point for giving you a 100th game?
Awesome. Yes.
Success.
Okay. And Paul, you are up.
I'm adding the ones that have 0 points. It really doesn't matter, does it? Because they're definitely not going to be in the top 10. Okay. So Sam, what I hadn't have in there. Oh, I had way more stuff than we haven't looked at there. I think Sam, as an addict, I've actually got quite a few things I thought was up there.
That's a good start.
Because this year saw the release of the final DLC for Binding of Isaac.
It did.
And so I think that will take your last place.
It didn't.
Fair enough. But should it?
Because I've just been playing Hades. I actually have barely scratched Repentance. Like, barely touched it. I've done like 5 runs because it's on the PC.
Yeah.
It hasn't come to the Switch yet.
Will it?
Yes. Yeah, it's coming to Switch this year. So maybe I'll play a lot of it on Switch this year. But I'm still playing a shit ton of Hades. So I don't think, like, my roguelike...
Is it just guilt? Because if you stop playing it, your tattoos, like,
No, it's because I haven't done everything. I'm still completing things.
I do, like...
It is a big game.
Like, I played a lot of Hades, and I do feel like I have barely scratched it in many ways.
It's wild.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, I finished credits. And you're like, oh, no, I haven't. There's more story. And you're like, hey, I finished episode. Oh, no,
so
there's more stuff
is it
to
Hades?
do. No.
No. Good, because I can't have 2 guesses. Okay. So, James.
All right.
Oh, that's why I need to add in case we get 3 in a row. Okay. I mean 6 in a row. Doesn't matter.
All right. So, how many spots you got free?
Me, I got my 7, my 9, and my 10.
Okay, I'm going to say your 7
Uh-huh.
is Chivalry 2.
It is. I like to think that you just looked over and I've got it on that page.
No. I can show you my list.
No. It's a good guess because it did jump into my list in just the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
So, and you get double points for that, for the right position. Is it on your list at all, James?
No, it isn't.
And I don't think Sam plays it, so it can't be on his. So,
Just going to assume things, but sure. It's not on my list. I have played it.
I was playing Chivalry 2 the other day, and I really enjoy my swinging and screaming. And this guy was in front of me, and I swung at him and I cut his arm off. And then I swung at him again and I cut off his other arm. I'm like, goodbye, sir. And then he headbutted me to death. I'm like, I've learned something. A flesh wound. Like, you are just doing the Black Knight Simulator now. Because I've had rounds where I get one of my arms cut off and like, I can't hold my weapon anymore.
Yeah, I didn't realize you could lose both arms.
No, I didn't either. I
fantastic.
assumed that would just be end of game.
Yeah.
But no, the number hasn't gone down, just the physical flesh wound. And what I also loved about just having, when I've had one arm cut off, which has happened a few times, it's like I go like, I'll just go heal myself. You don't get an arm back.
That's not how healing works.
Like, we still can't pick up anything. Oh well, I'm just going to be very annoying to people. Boom, 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 boom. Shake my fist angrily in their direction. Yes, so Chivalry 2. Awesome game. And I'm going to keep playing it. And actually, because when we just last played, we'd only done the big matches. I've done the smaller matches, which are also less popular, so they're actually not even full. So we were doing like 12v12.
Okay. See, that's a mode I feel I should play.
Oh, it is so good. Because at that point, it's like, it's no longer the chaos.
Yeah.
Now it's like, no, we have to work as like teams and squads and work together. Because anyone dying is actually a meaningful thing now, instead of just, we have a field full of people screaming at each other, and half the time you swing, you just see the team damage thing pop up. It's like, stop running in front of me, I'm swinging, god damn it. But yeah, such a good game. Awesome. Okay. Sam, what's your next pick?
I'm leaning between 2 things for one of your 3 things.
Okay. I think I've only got 2 things left.
Because I've run out of games.
Yeah, I've got 9 and 10.
Yeah, I've run out of games to think of and guess.
If you want,
So
if you want hints, one of my games isn't a game.
Well, that whack, but okay.
One of the games isn't a game.
What?
One of my games isn't a game, and it also ties into one of the 3 bonus points.
What's in this man's head?
It is an interactive product.
I should know. I'm going to let that sit in my head.
Okay. I mean, I can keep giving hints, but certainly I'll just tell you
stop
exactly.
Giving me hints.
Yeah.
But is one of your 3 things, for half a point, VR related?
No.
Okay.
Well, since you didn't say a thing, so
No,
it's just take it as a hint. So you can have half a guess again. You could ask like,
fine.
Okay. So James is actually down to only 3 things as well.
Yes.
So we're getting there.
That's what usually
Yeah.
happens is I run out
Yeah.
of steam because I'm bad at this. And I'm like, ah.
And one of them I've never spoken about before. So.
Yeah, which is annoying.
Oh, that's right. Now, just in like fairness to the thing,
Yeah.
are much like my latest admission, are all the things on your list games?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Well, that
Well-
saves me from something I was going to try.
Were you going to say the Mister?
Yes.
I also have the Mister on my list for James. James, for some reason, was surprisingly into the re-release. Oh no, he said no re-releases.
No
I
re-release.
didn't. It's all game. It's all games that have come
It's a
out.
remake of it. They are. Fine. Yeah, he didn't have that. Do you really liked Oregon Trail?
It's actually on my list. It's my number 10.
Oh yeah, I didn't say that.
Yeah, but you can have it. It's not, assume you put it low.
No, I won't give myself the double
Yeah.
points because I didn't say it.
And the reason I put that on there is because Oregon Trail is a very old classic game, and it's had some like remakes over the years, not for a while, but what Gameloft did really well was to take the essence of what it is and turn it into a really neat roguelike. And it was gorgeous game. I'm kind of a bit sad that it's only available on arcade. I don't think it's come to anything else yet.
I haven't seen it come to anything else.
Because it's a really it's like a really great like chill out mobile game to play because like you're just basically going from point to point and having these little conversations as your characters are walking along, and then little things occur. And these really nice backgrounds, and like the time of day is changing. Like it's just like this real like for a mobile game, it's really good. And because it was on arcade, none of the bullshit. It's just like, here is a video game. And yeah, it's one of the most polished games that I've mobile games I've seen in a while that I actually want to play. Like it's a lot of mobile games. I don't often play many mobile games, but that one, just the presentation and just the whole package, yeah, real good. It's if you have arcade, give it a go.
Well done, Paul.
Yay!
Good pick.
Man, I really just shooting in blind now.
Yep.
James, guesses.
All right. What numbers you got left?
I have 9 and 10.
I think
Okay,
I know
I'm
what
gonna
one of
say
them is
9.
now.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna say the Kid A experience.
God damn it.
That is correct.
How
Double
dare
points
you
down.
take this away
Yeah,
from me?
it was the not a game part.
could you
that-
move
yeah,
your
I was sat
phone?
there, I'm
Oh,
like,
sorry.
I think it just get
yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah.
It might not have been in the recording. It might have just been
Yeah.
in my ears,
Yeah.
but it's all good.
Yeah.
Yes, the Kid A Amnesia
Yeah.
experience was just such a surprise and such an awesome thing to be made and given away. And then I went and bought the album too because it's the re-release, but then with all this extra material on it as well, and it's all really, really good.
Yeah.
And I've been rocking out to it in the car.
Because I have not listened to Kid A in a very long time.
Yeah.
And I remember when it came out, it wasn't that popular compared to their other stuff, was it? Like it was a
it
bit.
was massive.
It was.
It was because it was a long release. I'm not going to get too much of a Radiohead geek in there. It was between OK Computer. It was like everyone was hyped because that was like a massive worldwide album.
Well, OK Computer was that album.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the very first CDs I bought. Like, yeah that is a good album.
Yeah, and they pretty much just go, oh, by the way, next album's like fuck guitars, and like, what are you talking about? You're a guitar band. And then it came, and it was a massive hit. Yeah.
Okay.
But it certainly took people by surprise,
Yeah.
and there was probably mixed reaction at first, but it won people over pretty quickly. I have really weird memories of it because I was trying to pick up a girl at the time, and I was speed reading all of Harry Potter. So I listened to
That's an odd association.
I listened to Kid A as I speed read at least the first 4, if not
That's some
first.
weird sense memories.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 5 Harry Potter books in 2 days, and it's like just.
So
Kid
if
A
we ever
goes
need to
in
quiz
my
you on Harry Potter, we just play Radiohead at you.
Yeah, it really brings the memories back. I'm like, Diggory. Yes, and such. It really like started a thing that I really want to see more of that kind of experience now that. Fidelity's got to the point that we can do it.
So is that both a game on your list and one of your 3 things?
No, but it ties into one of the 3 things.
There gets a hint.
And I was, the services, companies, things.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to go for the safer guess for my pick now that you've stolen that one away from me.
Uh-huh.
Is all of Epic's free stuff.
look, I'm going to give it to you. One of my 3 things is simply epic.
Yeah.
So the free stuff is cool. I like this free stuff.
Everything they've done this year.
I like the
in general.
vouchers and everything. But what it really comes down to, well, they've got Harmonix, which I'm half pissed off at, but half like, you've saved Harmonix. Harmonix is struggling. Like, we're going to see cool stuff going to Fortnite. But also, I've become weirdly interested in playing
they'll do
Fortnite.
other cool stuff too.
But also...
Oh, hopefully, Fortnite, I heard they might be putting in a no-build mode.
Well, there's a creative mode already. There's a no combat mode.
But like a battle royale mode with a turn off the building. I heard something about that.
That would be good.
That would be good because that's one of the key things
I'd be
keeps me
surprised
away
if you
from that
couldn't
game.
just make it as a custom
I'm
thing
sure it's a
already,
custom thing, yeah.
So all that, but then the Kid A stuff, they make this very cool interactive exhibit and using their technology, and then the Matrix Awakens.
Which was going to be, before you said something, I was going to be like,
that was going to be your
the
guess
Matrix
there.
thing.
No, yeah. And that is... we talked about it last episode, and I don't want to be too hyperbolic about like what this could mean for gaming, but it will have some impact.
It will have some impact on certain kinds of games.
I think Epic, like as much as they've copped a lot of shit, they are one of the few big companies that are still trying to push the medium quite heavily.
And what I do love, I love the lawsuit. Because do you remember what happened last in the lawsuit?
The fact that nothing really happened, but
well,
Fortnite can't be on Apple.
Apple have basically said like, you know what?
Yeah, we'll change things, but
we're
not for you.
gonna. You said that you were doing this like for everyone
Epic
else.
Jumped on the grenade.
Yeah. It's like we're gonna put you to that. Other people can do it, but not you ever. Go fuck yourself. So it's like, thank you, Epic.
Good sacrifice.
I know you were trolling, but also it's kind of for everyone's benefit now. So thank you. And then all the technology that they're doing, the stuff in film, the stuff like it's such a difference to when we were young, and the answer to, how much does it cost our license Unreal? If you have to ask, you can't.
Yeah.
Now it's like the business has changed so much in such a positive way. And it was I was watching the Chivalry 2 documentary. And basically, because it was Age of Chivalry, which was a mod in Source. And they're like, and we wanted to make a product. And there was just no way in hell we'd ever be allowed to afford Source. So Unreal had just gone free. So we made it an Unreal. Like, that was their engine selection.
Smart play.
It's like, it had nothing to do with what was the better technology
The
or
thing
anything.
about, like, the way they've set up their structure now is it's kind of like, you can just use it. And then if you ever get to the point where Epic wants some money off you, you're probably not going to miss it.
Yeah.
They only want money from you.
Is high.
Yeah. If you're actually, it's like, if you're doing well enough that that it's worth us collecting the money. It's the opposite of Australia's import GST shit.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we only want your money if you've got enough money for us to care about it. Because honestly, if you're going to send us like $150, we can't be fucked setting up your account.
Yeah.
So good work on that one, Sam, and before that, James, because I haven't put James's points in yet. So everyone's got points on the board, leaving one thing in my list, one thing in Sam's list, and two things in James's list.
Yeah, we're getting down there.
One of which we probably
One
won't
of these you
get.
probably won't get, but maybe I'll give hints.
And there is
That can be the game of the game of the game of the year.
the game of the game. Also, there is one more bonus point left. So far we have Game Pass, Epic,
and Thing.
And Thing.
Thing of the year.
I'll link it down to... No, we'll wait until we give any other points
Thing
for
of
it.
the year.
Thing of the year. Okay. It's my pick, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay, so James and... Oh, there's still one left on Sam's, isn't it?
Yeah, still my number 9.
You liked that. See, you actually liked quite a lot of games.
I struggled this year because whilst I, like usual, didn't have a lot to pick from, and when I pulled out the ones that, like, I went, yes, these are all contenders, and I only had, like, I don't know, 13, 14 games to go, they would all be contenders for top 10. It was very hard to rank them all.
Look, I don't think you love this game, but I think it had a certain touch on you. Would your number 9 be Biomutant?
It is.
Oh,
Okay. Didn't expect that.
See, you say what you said, but I've done 3 playthroughs of it.
Really? Holy shit.
Wow. Okay.
That's the most I've heard anyone
all of
play.
the endings. And I was, before a bunch of other shit came along, I was actually going to 100% it. Because whilst it's got a lot of problems.
It has some issues.
It's very
It does,
jank in everything it's doing because they try to do every mechanic ever made for video games.
They did not have a. They
Their
didn't
scope,
have a simple scope.
when asked what would you like this game to be, they said yes. It's still fun,
Yeah,
and there's just something charming about it.
and there's some real heart to it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's
And
what
I really loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna put that one
Cute
on
little
there.
game. I don't think it's on many people's top 10, but I think
No.
it's appropriate for you.
Yeah.
And I need to play more of it, especially since because I played
There's
it
some
before
really,
they
there's
did
some
like
really cool stuff. Like
bunch
some of
of
the boss
upgrade
battles are
changes.
quite fun. There's a couple of zones that were really interesting.
Mm.
And then there's just a lot of stuff that was tedious, but it was okay. It was just getting things done.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of
Yeah.
tedious stuff in games with that, and it's as we say, it's got a charm to the
I
whole
think
thing.
what it showed me is like whatever that team does next, as long as they scope it,
Yeah, when
Like-
they learn their lessons.
like they've proven that they can do a lot of they
Mm.
can do a lot of things passably well.
They need a death's door.
Yeah. So like if they scope down, they've shown that they have the talent to do things
Yeah,
better.
yeah. Well, I mean, I was excited for so long with that, especially just whenever they showed like the hand mech that you got.
Mm.
Like, I want the hand mech. I don't care about anything else. I just want the hand mech.
There's an entire side quest that you might like you stumble across it and
Yeah.
you do like a whole series of things to do and then you get like a little flying mount. It's a little bat creature.
No.
Oh,
And it's more glidey,
Yeah.
but it's better flying than like the glider you unlock through skills.
yeah.
But everyone I talked to who's played the game has never seen it. Because it's just some
It's
random
just some
ass
random
side quest.
side thing.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. I feel we're getting close to the end now, either getting everything or we'll just be shooting in the dark.
Yeah.
So, James, let's get one of our, let's call it, last 3 rounds, I guess.
Mhm.
I'm guessing. We'll find out. I've got one space.
No one space.
Yeah, we've just got Paul's one and his bonus. Or you can guess one of yours.
One space.
Yeah, I guess that does wipe it out, but it means you get no points for it.
I think
Unless what you think is Paul's
I've
one
guessed
space, one of
everything that
yours.
on my list.
What is
Wouldn't
one
it be funny if James's secret game was on your list?
Yeah.
Oh. This was a very weirdly, this number 10 locked in before I locked in the ones above it, and ones that were sort of above it kept getting knocked off the list, but this 10 stayed.
Stay there.
That makes it difficult.
I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I should guess the thing. But the thing is too broad. Like, what is the thing?
It is something that
It's a very good movie.
it is a thing we have.
It's a good movie.
Look, in our
Is it bigger than a bread box?
yes,
It is bigger than a bread box.
it is a company.
It's quite a lot bigger than.
Is this Devolver?
It is Devolver.
See, that was going to be my guess.
Devolver is
Which means I've technically picked all 3 of Paul's bonus things.
you have, but you don't get that 1 point.
Yeah, I know.
Devolver is just like a company that can do no wrong at the moment.
Yeah.
It seems their PR is great, and just on the actual professional level, their PR is really good to us. But every game that comes out is good.
Yeah.
and
They know how to pick them.
And they got a good hit rate.
their biggest games this year are our biggest games this year. Even got some stupid like tumble time thing coming out on mobile. I'm like, just checking.
I want to play it.
Is it out yet? I don't
It's
even
a
know.
Devolver game. I
I
want to
don't
play it.
know. Yeah, Devolver and actually one of the like Elysia from earlier in the year. Like that was a really small one that actually was in my top 20.
I nearly put that on the guest list, and I was like, nah.
Yeah, it just wasn't quite enough passion behind it in the end of the day. But it played really, really well. Like they just strength to strength, and like I'm slightly worried now that they're publicly traded.
They're
but
very
also
good
like
at finding the small indies.
yeah, because if you asked me last year, it would be Devolver and Annapurna. But Annapurna this year have been like 1 for 10 or something. I'm like, oh, what happened? Like you put a lot of money and a lot of style into all this stuff, but the actual substance isn't there. Whereas Devolver's given us Inscription, Death's Door, and Loop Hero, and all this shit. And Card Hero's out soon. Or like
Card Shark.
yeah, because Card Shark. Yeah, sorry, not Card Hero.
I'm excited for that.
It's like we joked earlier in the year that we should say the top 10 is sponsored by Devolver Digital, and it's like, yep, because it kind of will be. And from looking at these overall scores, it very much is. Yes. So yes, that is my last top thing. So Sam
So it's just James's bullshit and your...
and my one game.
And your
So
one game.
James has one game we know about and one invisible Monster.
Neither of which I have any hope of guessing.
Yeah, and I have...
Unless James wants to give me a
I could
hint
probably
about
give
his
a hint.
invisible monster.
Look, I'll give
Or
you
his other game, but I don't.
Okay, all right. I'll give a pretty big hint. One of them is a walking simulator.
Death Stranding isn't an option.
Yeah, I was going to say, I already guessed the main one. Walking... What?
I'm quickly loading up the all list. Oh no, but it's not on the all list. Fuck.
No. This is the
No.
one I have
Give me a-
spoken about.
Oh, the one
Give
we've
me a
spoken
clue
about
for
on the
that.
thing.
Yeah, I've given you a
Urban one.
clue. The one of which I have spoken about.
Walking.
It is
Walking. James.
Simulator.
What's on James's list that's a walking simulator? I guess that could be considered a walking sim. No, it's not. I mean, it means it's not Honey Pop.
But is it The Artful Escape?
Yes, it is. Can you guess the number?
What two numbers have we got?
We have 8 and 3.
It's 8.
It is 8.
Okay.
Yes.
Which means his secret hidden game is really... I mean, he already told us it was high up.
It's high
That
up.
was it was easy to guess.
It's high up. It's snuck in there. But yeah, Artful Escape. It as a game, you know, like I kind of half jokingly described it as a walking simulator. It's a
walking simulator, 100%.
So like there is not a lot of game going in there.
It's a walking simulator with some Simon Says.
But for something like as a experience, and I love things which sort of explore creativity as a theme, because like I feel creativity is something that doesn't get spoken about a lot. And like, you know, just like learning different processes people have and things like that. And so I kind of like, it wasn't like a deep dive into, you know, what is a creative process, something like that, but just like having it themed around, you know, this person who's learning to express what they really want. And like, you know, and it's like, I like that. And then just the presentation of it, you know, like all the soundtrack and all the visuals, like the psychedelic
Quite
visuals.
nicely put together walking simulator.
Yeah. I just really enjoyed my time with it. Like, just sit there on the couch, totally chill on my big old TV. Real nice. Real nice.
Nice.
Yep.
That leaves Paul with the hard guess.
Oh, right. Are there any clues at all? Considering it's not on our list, so I can't think of anything.
It's a genre and a setting that I really like.
Okay. Space. There wasn't an Elite this year. Although, what was the Elite that you're on the planet? The Elite that you're on the planet?
No, it's definitely not the Elite that I was on the planet, because that thing is a clusterfuck.
Oh, shit. Okay, that's we're down one.
Space games will come out this year that aren't on the list.
He loved Chorus and he didn't tell us. I can't write the Elite where you're on space.
You've got to guess Paul's things. His game.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. I still have a guess,
Paul
don't
has
I?
a game.
That's right. It's my go. The thing. Oh God, I don't know.
It is on the Nintendo.
It's on the Nintendo. It is the thing on the Nintendo. Is it just like the OLED screen?
No. It's a game.
Oh, it is a game.
We've done the non-game. That was the Kid A
It is a
experience.
thing. God, a Nintendo thing. I don't know. The jump rope game.
Okay. No.
I don't know.
I'm not putting that down. Sam's just trying to think of space games.
No, I'm now looking for your game.
Okay. It's a Nintendo game that released this year.
Is it? Have you put Bowser's Fury on there?
I have put Bowser's Fury on there. Bowser's Fury was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's like... if it is the template of where Mario is going to go now after Odyssey, I am
good tech
down
demo
100%. Plus, you know, it came with 3D World, which is an amazing game. It has a crown, which is great. But Bowser's Fury was just like the freshest Mario I've played in ages, and it's both like full of new ideas and way more traditional than Odyssey was. It's like, yep, here's a bunch of jumping puzzles.
Yeah, it was very Sunshine whilst being very new.
Yeah. Plus being much better than Sunshine.
Yes, that too.
So Bowser's Fury is my number 10, which means we've just got the one pick of James's thing left to find.
So, space games.
Okay, space games that came out this year. And, you get double points for that, Sam, because it was the only one left. So
I guessed the correct spot.
Exactly. Okay, space games that came out this year. I've already done Halo. Is it in the VR?
No.
Okay. Space games.
You just,
2021.
okay, you know another big hint?
Yes.
You just said it.
I did? Halos? But we already said Halos.
Do you want to pass?
Well,
Paul?
chorus.
I was gonna say, do you want to pass?
Are you fucking kidding me?
It's really cool.
I'm not saying it's not, but this name is, the words have never fucking passed your lips in your
Yeah, I
life
know,
towards us.
You only just got it.
What a sneaky bastard.
And that's why, like, I was actually playing it a bunch today because, like, I got it today, and I'm like, I should probably, like...
It's
That's like,
2022.
You got it today?
I literally got
Excuse
it
me.
today.
It is 2022.
This is bullshit of the highest order, sir.
This is now top 10 anime betrayals.
You know, I wasn't going to give myself both the points for that, but you know...
You can have those
You
points,
had the
Paul.
ball. No, because, like...
should I put a V instead of you?
Corvus, as I like to call it, which I legitimately thought it was called Corvus. It's a V, it's not a U. So, like, I got it as a birthday present. And for some reason, like, I thought this game was going to be like a mission, like just a series of like single player missions that you go through.
Yeah.
But that's not. It's actually, it reminds me a little bit of maybe Crimson Skies.
Ooh.
Where it's more like you're in like a world that's like you fly around and do different missions and things. But it ticks a bunch of boxes. Like, it's in space. The space combat feels good because it's like from a company that's made a bunch of space games. There is like
What's the company?
it's like Flying Fish or fish something, big fish. I don't know. I feel like the word fish is in there somewhere.
Fishy dish.
Yeah, they do the Galaxy on Fire stuff. Like it's got
It's Fish Labs.
Fish Labs. There we go.
You had fish in it.
It
You're
did
on
have fish in it.
the
I
job.
was, yeah. It's got like a kind of cool upgrade thing, an upgrade from the ship. It's got an interesting setting where it's like it's in space, but there's like this like space cult that's going around trying to get everyone to join the space cult. And you were in the space cult, and you got out of the space cult after doing some bad space cult shit. Looks gorgeous because it's running on the PS5. Yeah, snuck in there. Really enjoyed it. I reckon I'll play a lot of it.
Played it today.
Like, I played
piece of
quite a lot
shit.
of it today.
You know, by weird coincidence, I actually programmed some of the music from that game in for tomorrow's episode of Zed Games. So I'm down with it.
Yeah.
Partly probably why I was thinking about it,
Yeah.
but also had no expectation you would have played that game at all.
Well, because I had almost bought it a few times, and it was just like, I ended up getting it as a present. And yeah, it is definitely a kind of video game that I like.
It's interesting. Their list of games they've done is almost entirely mobile and then some Switch ports.
Yeah, they started doing like, they were like
They
trying
did the
to...
Saints Row Switch ports.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because they're under Deep Silver.
they were,
Oh yeah.
yeah, because they were doing like good, like mobile, like kind of like Elite style and like, open world, open galaxy stuff. You can fly around, be pirate and whatever.
Cool.
Yeah, so they know their shit. They've been doing it a while.
So Corvs.
Chorvs,
Chorvs.
as I'd like to call it.
The ones that I juggled on and off the list were at the bottom were not for broadcast, which
I did nearly
came out last
that.
year but was still being released this year and it's still not finished. So it's like it's halfway through its release. I don't know, but I love that game. Psychonauts 2 and Village were probably the other ones, and Elysia. But yeah, but it was a good game. It was a good year for games.
Yeah, well, it was good going back and thinking about what I actually played because, like I said
It's a good
before,
chunk.
I realized that like I thought basically Baby had knocked me out for like enjoying new video games this year, but apparently not. I managed to play a bunch.
Shitloads.
So I got a lot in there.
Like, I have the Aussie list of games I was playing. I haven't ordered it as anything, but it's like big ones. I did not realize the Morangi generation was Australian. I thought it was New Zealand, but he's a Maori that lives in Australia. Phantom Abyss, which is a Brisbane game, came out. That
That's
was almost me putting it on your top
It
10.
was almost on there.
Yeah, because that was, and I
Team
really
Shifty,
liked it
or they
too.
renamed themselves, didn't they?
Yeah, I think it's a new name of it.
Yeah.
The Forgotten City came out,
I nearly guessed that for you.
which is a very cool game. Artful Escape, which we mentioned. Webbed, Unpacking. Exo 1, which is Christopher Nolan's Tiny Wings, which I really enjoy. Lens Island, survival thing that came out recently. That's Brisbane based. Heavenly Bodies, which I've been playing on PS5, and I don't know if I can find anyone to play it with me, but I really want to play it with someone else because it seems more fun. There's a bunch of stuff, and then shit I didn't play as well. It's like it was a really good year for Aussie games, but all sort of like, Well, other than Unpacking, no. Oh, actually, no. Phantom Abyss had a pretty big release one.
yeah.
Also, Devolver. Yeah, actually, there was some. And Forgotten City, I've actually seen appear on a bunch of people's top 10s.
Yeah, I know
So-
a lot of people who enjoyed it.
Yeah, seems like actually was a pretty good Aussie year. And Webbed, what a game! Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's buying those spiders.
It's a very cute spider.
It's a good.
I
spider.
really want one.
It is a very cute spider.
Grab that spider and stick it on the table so that the 3 people that watch the video can see the spider again. There we go. Brought
want
to you by Devolver and Webbed. Okay, so that brings now it shouldn't be no one's surprise if they think about how the maths goes. What? We'll count up, and I think I'm just going to do the top 4 because we actually have 23 individual games on our 30 picks. So most of these games
That's
are
pretty good.
kind of there because like number 5 is Puzzling Places, but also so is Halo Infinite and Overboard. Actually, no, I'll put Overboard because that means that 2 people voted for it. So Overboard is our number 5. Our number 4 is Loop Hero, Death's Door, Outer Wilds, which means 8.5 bits. Game of the year for 2021 is, of course, Webbed. Inscription. And rightly
Which doesn't
deserved.
shock me.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
I always find our list at the end of the day always feels appropriate.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's like, well, I think very, very rarely does my number 1 be our number 1,
Yeah.
but it's like, but my number 2 is often our
I don't think we ever disagree on the final listing.
No,
We're
yeah.
like, yes.
It's like, yes, that's
makes
the one we
sense.
all played and we're all like really into.
Yeah.
It's like when we Disco Elysium, it's like, yes, Outer Wilds is one of the best games of all time, but so is Disco Elysium, and we all played and liked that one. There's not one weirdo holding out on us. So we're looking forward to a brand new year. I was actually thinking next year, I might try to play less games.
Play more
I'm going
of
to
them?
try play more.
Like, of more of these single games? Or just
Maybe.
play fewer video
Just
games
like,
in general?
just like stop branching out quite so much. Like, still, I suppose branch out on new things, but like, fuck, I play a lot of
You
games.
want to do some deeper dives?
Yeah, and I also like, I think I might just need to focus on a few platforms because I'm like, all consoles, including
so
VR and
Playdate.
PC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to
So
play
just
that.
play
Oh,
that.
fuck, I'm already playing
We're going
some.
to become a Playdate.
Yeah, it's a Playdate
It's
podcast.
Playdate
Playdate
comes with
podcast.
24 games.
Look,
Some of them look like they're going to be quite meaty too.
I reckon we should do some kind of Playdate game club thing
Playdate
when it
dates.
comes out.
Yeah.
Playdates.
Yeah.
No, we could literally just
100%.
spend the last 5-10 minutes on each episode say it's Playdate time, so if you don't care, tune out. And
Yeah.
that sounds like a thing we can do. If we get them, which we will, hopefully. Maybe. Yes, definitely.
It's looking like this year will be a pretty good year for games too.
Yep, because we'll all be homesick. But hopefully
There is
not
that.
dying. Thank you.
Hey, whoa.
What?
Who won?
Points made up.
Yeah.
Paul won,
Yeah.
obviously.
Who is...
Sam got 10 points.
I mean,
James
it's double digits.
got 14 points. And Paul got 19 points.
rigged.
Paul's points can drink,
Yeah.
But not in the US.
but not,
Yeah,
the
not
US.
even.
But that's fine.
Yeah, that's
Get a gun.
that's all right. It's
Which you could then. I'm not going to say it.
yeah. Let's keep that thought of trend going. What things could we do with that gun? We could get a drink.
That's what I was about to say.
Good. Thank you for joining us for another Game of the Year. I've been your host, Paul.
I've been James.
I've been Sam.
Catch you all later, folks, and do whatever you want with us. Like you're the media and everything, like not physically. Don't throw James out a window.
Yeah. But you can do whatever you want to Paul. Like, that's...
I am quite permissive. Catch you all later, folks.
Thanks, everyone.